the series is even. The Oilers with a 4-3 victory in overtime over the Vancouver Canucks. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the GCL Diesel postgame show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola with you. Matt Cassian will be joining shortly, and YouTube Trev holding things down back at EST HQ. Text us 780-218-9999. Your thoughts on Edmonton's victory tonight. And, of course, if you're watching on YouTube, get in the nasty chat. I'm live on location. Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. It is bumping in here. If you can't hear the music, people erupted when Evan Bouchard scored the game-winning goal in OT to give the Oilers the split in Vancouver. Before we deep dive into this bad boy, I do have to add that GCL Diesel is the presenting sponsor of the Oil Stream post-game show. And a big thank you for them partnering up with us. It's been an absolute blast. What a ride it has been with GCL Diesel, Edmonton's diesel fuel system specialists and providers of critical engine components for over 50 years. All right, I think YouTube Trev had an aneurysm watching that game. I feel like a lot of people did. Before I go into the scoring summary and the stats from tonight, I'm just going to say this. We know Joaquin Gage has that leather jacket he likes to wear, and he thinks it's good luck, and they're undefeated. The Oilers are when he's on the broadcast or in the arena when he wears the leather jacket. I kid you not. I was watching the game with Norm in a combine here at Hudson's on Bourbon Street. Gager walks in, says hello, his lovely wife Megan with him, and he goes, "Tommy, look at this." And he shows me the leather jacket, and then I turn back, and all I see is the puck go in off of Evan Bouchard's shot, deflected by the Canucks defenseman, and I was just like, Gager, that is not a coincidence, man. That is not a coincidence. So, Joaquin Gage, well done, sir, wearing the leather jacket. Leather Daddy, as he likes to be referred to as when he's wearing it. All right, let's get into the scoring summary and game stats from game number 2 as the Oilers even up this series. Keep those texts coming in via the nasty chat. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, please, and thank you. And then also get those texts in via the text line 780-218-9999. Here we go, breaking it all down. We begin in the first period, 4:14 in. Vancouver opens up the scoring on the power play. First time the Oilers PK gives one up. Elias Pettersson, his first of the postseason, on a nice feed from JT Miller. Quinn Hughes, the second assist. 1-0 Van. The Oilers would respond at 10:56. You didn't know if he was going to play tonight. I knew he was going to play tonight. Leon Draisaitl, his sixth of the playoffs from Connor McDavid and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. 1-1 after one in the second period. Brock Boeser would give the Canucks another lead just 53 seconds in. Redirection. I'm not going to blame Stuart Skinner for that one. Nice tip by Boeser. Face-off win for the Canucks. Susi and Zadorov, the Apples, on Boeser's fifth. However, shortly after that, just 23 seconds later, Matthias Ekholm would answer with his second of the playoffs from Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. I like this goal, so Draisaitl picking up a second assist. McDavid as well to tie it up at 2. In that second period, before it was up, this one I didn't like. At 18-17, Nikita Zadorov, his fourth of the playoffs from JT Miller. He did this to UC Saros, the exact same goal, bad angle, almost from the wall, up above the shoulder. Saros is 5'11", Stu Skinner is 6'4". That should not be going in. Bad goal for sure. Last game, Skinner gave up 3 bad goals. Tonight, it was just the one by Zadorov. The Oilers, though, would bounce back in the third period. Connor McDavid, his second goal on the breakaway from Zach Hyman and Leon Draisaitl at 5:27 to knot it up. Nobody would score the rest of the way in the third, even though the Oilers had plenty of chances. They outshot Vancouver 15-2 in the third period, had all kinds of pressure. They could not get by Arturs Shilovs the rest of the way until 5:38 into OT. Evan Bouchard just puts one on net. He gets his second of the playoffs from Draisaitl and McDavid off of the Canucks defender and past Arturs Shilovs. Edmonton wins it 4-3 in OT. Shots on goal, 31 19 in favor of the Oilers. Faceoffs much closer tonight than it was Wednesday night in Game 1. 52.2% to 47.8% in favor of the Canucks. Edmonton's power play, 33%, going 1 for 3. The PK, 2 for 3 on the night. First time that the PK has given one up all postseason. Hits 43-26 officially in favor of the Vancouver Canucks. Block shots 19 for Van, 7 for Edmonton. Giveaways 7 for the Oilers to 4 for Vancouver. Takeaways 7 for Vancouver, 3 for Edmonton. The most important stat, 4 on the board for the Oilers, 3 on the board for the Canucks in overtime. This series is even at 1. Let's get to Matt Cassian, our game analyst. He's ready to go. He's been waiting patiently. Text us 780-218-9999, as well as get at us in the nasty chat. Cass, I said it would be a tight one. You thought it would be a tight one. What did you think of the response overall from the Oilers getting the desired result?
It was a tight one, Tommy. Not a lot of space out there for the first while. I thought Edmonton did get better as the game went on. Now Vancouver had some moments as well. Much better job by Edmonton of maintaining puck possession in the offensive zone, grinding out some shifts down there, forcing some, icings in tired Vancouver legs. And I thought Edmonton got a little bit better and better and better as the game wore on. Now, we knew it was going to be tight. It was a little bit of a lucky bounce for Edmonton at the end there. But, hey, you had possession, you had control, you got the puck to the net, and you win a hockey game because of it. Now, Tom, like we said before the game, people are going to put that game 1 in the rear view, and they're going to move on and say, hey, we're 1-1 coming back home. We got a split that's not too shabby of a place to be for the Edmonton Oilers.
Cass, we anticipated Leon Draisaitl playing in this game, and we wondered what kind of Leon Draisaitl we would see. I'm not going to lie to you. He looked pretty good. What did you make of the big horse in 29 in orange and blues game tonight?
Yeah, it didn't look like he was slowed down much today, did he? A little bit more physical again, leaning on some players, using that reach of his and his other arm to stretch out and create some space. I thought he looked strong today. Didn't look like his back was bugging him. So whether it was just a spasm that calmed down, whatever it was, he certainly looked like he was able to put it past them. Whether they froze it, who knows? We don't. But Tommy, he looked a lot more back to the regular Leon Draisaitl.
All right, 780-218-9999. Text us, nasty chat, get at us. Leo says Oilers' fourth line was an issue tonight. Emma Terry talking about OT being worried. I think a lot of people were. Emma Terry, Joelle says she's going to bed. Good night, Joelle. Thanks for staying up out east. Hope you have a good one. James getting in there. Penrith Pancake says, would like to see depth pitch in here at home. Want to see 71 step up. All right, Cass, a couple of concerns there in the nasty chat. What would you say to those, bringing up the depth, not getting in on offense? McDavid's line with Draisaitl on there and Hyman completely tilted the ice when they were out there.
Yeah.
What did you think of lines 2, 3, and 4 tonight for the Oilers?
Not great. Not great. Not unbelievable. Ultimately, they did enough to hang in there, right, for you to get the win, which there's going to be games like that. There's going to be nights like that in the playoffs where not everyone's going. I told you before the game that with Perry in particular is who we talked about, his lack of production, and it continues a little bit today, only plays 10 minutes and 13 seconds of ice time. Also, in this, you were down most of the game. You were chasing most of the game. You never had the lead until you scored the goal in overtime to win it. And so you were playing the big guns, and they kept rolling out there, and they kept rolling out Evan Bouchard and Matthias Ekholm, who both had fantastic games as well. Sure, you could say, or people could say they're concerned about it. You're 1-1 in the series, so I don't know. Tom, I'm hesitant just to say, Tom, let's get concerned or we should worry about it. But would it be nice to see more production from them? Yeah, it would. The top line was good enough today to get the job done, and they do. The rest of the guys were just good enough. And some of them, I thought, there was – it took probably till the third. There finally was that one shift where the fourth line was able to apply some pressure and hem in. Yeah. You do want to see more of that. I wouldn't say, again, I'm concerned about it, but to say, hey, this is something we need to pay attention to, and you need more from that group if you want to win the series, I think is fair.
You know what, Cass? Tonight, I'm with you. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'll say they found a way to get it done. Was it ideal? Nope. But we're not at the point of the season where you're looking for thorough, ideal wins. You don't care how you get it done, right? This is the postseason. It's do or die. You just find a way, and they did it in hostile territory. I think that's one we can let slide, right, in that regard.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Hey, you got the win at the end of the day, Tom, which is what you needed. You got the split in Vancouver, and you're coming home with the tied series, and it's now a best of 5, and you have a couple games at home ice, which is, I think, setting you up nicely. You're not 2-0, and that's the big thing.
That's a huge thing. You're right. All right, 780-218-9999. I'm going to get to some texts. If you have any questions for Cass, fire them our way. Nasty chat, continue doing your thing. Hit the thumbs up, please, and thank you. We're live on location, Hudson's, Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. Cass at his satellite studios. YouTube Trev, a very nervous YouTube Trev, back at EST HQ, making sure everything is working. All right, so ice times. McDavid played 28-12. Draisaitl 27-05. Hyman 25-48. They were basically getting double shifted the second half of the game. Kane played 17-50. Fogle got 16-58. And then Nugent Hopkins ended up playing 20-45 on defense. Bouchard 29-59 time on ice. He ate a lot of minutes. So too did Matthias Ekholm. Both of those guys getting they got goals tonight, so that pairing was crucial. +2, both of them. 25-42 on the ice for Ekholm. Nurse and Cece, if you're wondering, they were combined -6 the other night. They were -1 each tonight. Defensively, Cass, what did you see from this group?
Well, they did a much, I wouldn't necessarily say a much better job. They did a better job of keeping the puck to the outside, and we talked about that before the game, limiting some of those opportunities. I mean, there wasn't, I don't think, I'd have to look at the actual numbers, but it didn't seem to me as if there were as many grade A chances that the Edmonton Oilers gave up today. Now, they still end up with 3 goals. The Vancouver Canucks, 1 power play goal was a beautiful pass. That pass by JT Miller on that power play goal was a thing of beauty. Fakes the puck going to the net and slides it across. That was beautiful. Yeah. The deflection goal, not much for Stuart Skinner on that one. Again, off a draw, good tip. But they didn't give up too much more aside from that. Like it wasn't like the Edmonton Oilers turned over as many pucks, which I think really helped them defensively. And then when Vancouver did have possession, I thought Edmonton did a better job of staying inside and protecting the front of the net.
Well said. Well said. Concern with Stuart Skinner at the Zadorov goal, or did you think he bounced back all right tonight?
He bounced back fine. You said it. Same goal on Soros not that long ago. Pretty tough angle to score a goal from, and he tucks it in. So, I get that people probably, and even you're like, yeah, it's a bad goal. It's a pretty unbelievable shot from that angle to tuck that in. But hey, Stuart Skinner kept the rest in front of him. Nothing else ended up behind him in the net. So he's going to feel good about it. Certainly would not be, I don't expect him to be ruminating over it, to be talking about it in the post-game show. I mean, if he does, or the post-game interviews, if he does, he's probably just going to be like, wow, yeah, it was a good shot. Tough angle. But no, I'm not. I know there's still some people that are concerned. I'm not. I haven't been, but that's me.
Made some good saves, especially in the first 2 periods. All Oilers in the third. Yes, it was McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman and Nugent Hopkins in there, basically tilting the ice for the majority of that third period. All right, let's dip it to the inbox. 780-218-9999. Mike from Calgary just says, Effin' A, Cotton. Effin' A. I've got a beeper for that. All right, Mike from Calgary. T-Biscuit says Rusty Shackelford. Rye TT and Matty Cassian, take a pull of that birdie booze for the Oil win. Yes, we'll be enjoying that tomorrow. There goes VR Montenegro, Rip City Step. Oh, they had a great time tonight. This one says, TG as the DJ of Hudson's. You couldn't find a better song to play than Barbie Girl. I am not the DJ, but somebody over here came and said, thank you for playing the right songs at the right time. I was like, yeah, okay, I guess so. Let's go to Original Puzar. Original Puzar says, Tommy and Cass, is Evan Bouchard the best value contract in the NHL? His defensive game is a non-issue, and he's bordering on being very good defensive D-man. Do you want to take the first crack at that, Cass, from OP?
Yeah, well, might be now currently from a contract standpoint. That thing's going to be up pretty soon, and he's going to get a massive payday. I mean, it was a good move to sign him to that bridge deal. It's going to be awfully expensive to re-sign him. Still has those defensive hiccups every once in a while. Had a lot of them at the start of the season. Hasn't had any in the playoffs. Maybe one or two shifts, actually, I think, in that one LA game where it was like, ooh, that doesn't look very good. But for the most part, he's cleaned that up. Matthias Ekholm has helped him immensely on the defensive side of the game, given him some stability in that play. And he has always been good in the offensive zone. That patience that on occasion gets him into trouble defensively benefits him tremendously offensively when he has the puck on his stick. Is he the most undervalued? Yeah. I mean, he on the team probably for what you're paying him and what you're getting out of him in terms of production and in offense. It's not always going to be that way, though. But for now, we can be thankful, I guess.
He has a penchant for picking up his game at the right time of the year.
Yeah.
Terrible starts to seasons. That's become a habit. I'll say that. But yes, he was excellent tonight. Very reliable, providing offense, gets the winner tonight. Had a tremendous offensive season. Started the year horribly, much like many of his teammates. All right, let's go back to the inbox. 780-218-9999. JG on the big ball. Win by the Oil. MVP game from McDavid. We will need more from the second, third, fourth line, but like what I saw in the third and in OT, woo, Nature Boy style. Nature Boy had a rough night at a local restaurant. I don't know if you saw the video. It was very obnoxious. I think he's at the point of his career where Ric Flair just doesn't care anymore and wants a damn drink. Liquid Beaver says, Jeepers, that was a chippy hockey game. Glad they pulled it out. That win was crucial for the Oil's psyche. The chippiness, Cass, Edmonton's response to the physical play. There were some big hits, and then what it does for their mindset coming home with that split.
Well, I think from a physicality standpoint, we saw them at times be physical or absorb some physicality from LA. I don't think this is a team that's uncomfortable in that type of game. And if we look from a size standpoint or a heaviness standpoint, I think the Edmonton Oilers were second heaviest heading into the playoffs. I'm not sure where Vancouver falls into that scale. So they're not a small team, and I don't think they shy away from it. Now, they're not always the physical initiators, but they do respond, and they generally respond well through play. And as I said, I think as they continue to play that game, they got better. Their third period was the best period of the series. And I think the intensity, some of the physicality, some of the chippiness, some of the chatter, I think that helped bring them along tonight, whether it just helped from a focus standpoint or adrenaline standpoint or emotion standpoint or all three. It, I think, helped. Now, to the going forward, was that the second part of that question?
The psyche of the team.
The psyche of the team. Well, I think moving forward, the psyche of the team, it's mission accomplished. You're a road team on the playoffs. You come out with a split, mission accomplished. Now, just like anything, you would have liked to have 2 wins and be coming back to it. Of course you would. Anybody would. But from worst case, what we want to see out of this weekend is coming out 1-1. They did it. So again, it's mission accomplished. Now they have to come into our building and beat us at home. I think you're going to be talking a lot about the way you play that third period, about the pressure you're able to put on, about, you're looking at that with your depth players to say, hey, we need more out of you with this. We need more of those shifts in the offensive zone where you can apply some pressure, hold on to the puck, trap some teams on the ice, force them to ice it, and get McDavid on the ice with 2 D-men who have been on the ice for 2 minutes long. So I think mentally what this does for you is it just tees it up, Tom. It tees it up. You needed a win tonight. It would have been really difficult, just like anything, coming back home 0-2. Yeah. But finishing here with a win, having a strong game, even though you chased the whole time, being patient the entire game. I really did like the response. We didn't talk about that yet, but I really liked the response after goals against. Like they pushed back well, where there was not a lot of sag. They pushed immediately back at Vancouver and usually applied some pressure and generally seemed to score fairly quick. So it was, I think, just a strong game to build off of for the Edmonton Oilers, much, much more so than that game 1.
That's a great point, Cass. I'm glad you brought it up. Response, not getting down, not sulking, anything like that. That's important. That speaks to the mental fortitude, I suppose, of the team to reply like they did. Okay, I found a bunch of nasty chats that I want to get to. Phyllis goes first. Phyllis says Hyman was in the goal, behind the goal. He was everywhere. Such a tenacious player. Ryan says Petey finally scored, so I could see him being a huge X factor on the road. Nucks in 7. Let's go. Okay, Ryan, we'll see. Lars Y says Bouchard's still sketchy defensively. And then James says, hey, Cass, how do you think Bouchard played on the Besser tip for the Vancouver third goal?
Let me pull it up again here, Tommy. If you want to fill while I pull that
up. Okay, I'll describe it from what I recall off the top of my head. It was a face-off. I think it was a D-to-D, and then a quick shot, and Besser got his stick on it, batted it down, and it was
the high tip.
I'm
just looking to see how Bouchard played it here, so I'm just running it back as we go.
Okay.
So
do you need
off
me to
of the
fill
draw.
some more?
Yeah, I mean,
you got it.
Yeah, I got it. I don't think he played that horribly. Like it's a great tip. That's a great tip, because if Bouchard tries to take his stick there and step up on him, now all of a sudden he's chasing up really above the hash marks. So, and then there's someone behind him, and yes, you have someone coming back, but he recognizes he's kind of almost got a 2-on-1 in front of the net at that moment. So, I think it's Ekholm coming in behind him. But right now, when the shot is leaving from the point, you have two players in front of the net from Vancouver, Besser being one on the top side, and Bouchard plays it like a 2-on-1, halfway in between, which probably is the right way to play it. Now, he does know he has help coming back, which is he takes a step up, but it's a great tip out of the air. It really is. So I don't think we can look at that one and say, you know what, Bouchard did something very, very wrong. It was a good face-off play, good tip. He had to play a 2-on-1. He wasn't out of his mind with what he was doing. I thought he was fine position-wise, just a great tip.
Cass, good breakdown of that goal. Sometimes great players make great plays.
Yeah.
Brock Besser is a great goal scorer. Yep.
Yeah.
I like this one from the nasty chat. Last one before I go back into the inbox. Taze to Kane Texan says they better be firing donaires from the T-shirt cannons at Rogers Place to get the fans hyped up on Sunday. Yes, they've been doing that in the postseason. Brilliant move, in my opinion. I wonder how those donaires taste. I'm sure they are delicious. Not really that nutritious. All right, keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. The Oilers defeat the Vancouver Canucks 4-3 in overtime on an Evan Bouchard goal. This series is coming back to Edmonton, even up at 1 Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. puck drop. We're going to be on the air at 6 o'clock. It's going to be tons of fun. All right, we've got lots of texts to get to. This text coming in from Jason says, obviously, I'm glad the Oilers won, but man, they better start hitting them a lot more. The physical play, Cass, I thought they had some big licks on the Canucks, especially early in the game. What did you make of the overall physical game from an Edmonton point of view? And then how they responded when Vancouver kind of upped the physical game later on.
Yeah, well, hey, Vancouver upped the physical game later on. Edmonton had the puck the whole time. So, I don't necessarily look at that and go, oh, Edmonton was getting run out of the building physically. It's like, well, Edmonton had the puck and Vancouver had more hits, and it seemed like they had more hits because Edmonton was controlling the play. Which sometimes is the case. Sometimes a team with more hits is you're just chasing all night. Not that Vancouver was all night, but they did up the intensity on that. And I thought Edmonton upped their own intensity, not necessarily from a physical standpoint, but just from a play standpoint and an execution standpoint. And I did think, I agree with you, Tom, they had their fair share of big licks.
Yeah.
Darnell Nurse on Pettersson. Now, some people may not have liked that hit. If you're a Vancouver fan, you probably didn't. I thought it was borderline. Could potentially have been called, maybe a little bit of the back shoulder. Wasn't like horrible, atrocious, but maybe a penalty, maybe not. But overall, the Edmonton had their licks in too. And I don't think, again, Edmonton's not intimidated by it. I don't think they care about it or they're worried about it. Their intensity, again, rose to the occasion. So, hey, you want Vancouver running at you, fine, but it means Edmonton's got the puck.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. All right, Huntorio Momes chiming in says that Nurse hit on Pettersson is what everyone's been waiting for. This one says 2 words, let's go. Complete effort, bailing out Stu's misstep. Vancouver lost that home series, officially started, deserved to win, and got over the OT demons for one night when they needed it. Let's go from that texter. Nicely done. Northside Sandwich getting into the action says, hey boys, do you think the Canucks swap out goalies or do both teams keep their rosters the same? Cass, what would you do or what do you anticipate from Rick Tocchet going into game 3 now?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Shilov was a lot better tonight than he was in game 1. You're probably not swapping it out unless DeSmith is as close to being 100% as possible. You're probably keeping him in there. Like, did he, if you're a Vancouver fan and you put your Vancouver glasses on, do you think he was poor enough that you're going to go back and change it right now? I don't think so. And you lost by 1 goal in overtime.
Yeah.
So
I'll ask you this, Cass. Like, which one of those goals that Shilov's let in are you going, oh, that was all on Shilov's, all on Shilov's? Not the McDavid one. OT winner was put in by his own guy.
Yeah.
Draisaitl goal was a nice goal. Ekholm, the Ekholm one?
Maybe. It was a little bit of a knuckleball.
I don't know, but Ekholm made a smart offensive play by going cross body, top glove when everything was moving blocker
with
side.
a little bit of a knuckler on it too. Yeah. Didn't take his time to stop it, stick handle or anything. So I mean, again, I don't think it was on Shilov. So I wouldn't change it. I can't imagine they would. Now maybe there's some Tyler Myers looked a little banged up, so who knows exactly where he's at from a health standpoint. Ian Cole, I mean, that goal goes in today. He wasn't great game 1, so I don't know. Maybe they look to make a small change on defense, maybe, but they're probably rolling it back, Tommy. I don't know why Tocchet would change it. I don't think there's a need to make a big change.
If you're the Oilers, are you switching anything going into game 3 roster-wise? And we're not talking about Stu Skinner, obviously, but no. When it comes to skaters.
Well, if Henrique is still okay and good to go, hopefully you can play him a few more minutes. I mean, do you look to put Carrick in instead of Derek Ryan? Maybe to try to generate something else.
Physicality too.
Maybe some of that physicality. That might be a switch you look at. But aside from that, you're not looking at changing much. It's going to be mostly the same. Maybe Carrick in instead of Ryan.
780-218-9999. Text us. The Oilers win 4-3 in overtime over the Vancouver Canucks. They get the split in Van and return home for Game 3. Sunday night, 7:30 puck drop. We're on the air for the pregame show brought to you by GCL Diesel at 6 p.m. Myself, YTT, and Matt Cassian. Displaced Yukoner says, great game. Draisaitl is a beast. Moonwatcher says, I don't want to have too many negatives since they won, but CC way too slow making decisions with the puck. He gave the puck away way too much. We were not impressed collectively with CC and Nurse, and we said they had to be better. Cass, you were talking about defending from the inside out on the pregame show. That pairing of Nurse and CC goes from -3 each on Wednesday in game 1 to -1 each. What would you say about those two and how they performed? And then Moonwatcher, who alludes to CC giving away the puck too much.
Yeah, well, I'd have to watch it again to tag all those giveaways. I don't think I saw that much. They were a little better today. Still room for improvement, that group, I would say. Now, Ekholm and Bouchard were fantastic tonight as a pairing. They played incredibly well. That's why they played so many minutes, and they generate offense. Again, you were chasing. You needed guys that were going to help you generate offense playing. That's why McDavid and Draisaitl played so many minutes, and that's why Bouchard and Ekholm did as well. Again, Nurse and CC, like they were okay. They were just okay, I would say. They were okay. Nothing more than that tonight. They were all right. They were serviceable and passable, and you got the win. So let's just leave it at that.
All right, just to give you the stats on Nurse and CC tonight. -1 each, no points, and CC with 1 hit, Nurse with 3 hits and 3 shots. Nurse played 18-22, CC 17-41, so their time on ice was lower, and like Cass just alluded to, Bouchard and Ekholm played much more. That also had Kulak up at 18-16 and Desharnais at 17-19. So they might have gotten a few of Nurse's and CC's minutes as well. Cass, we do have audio and video from the locker room. Do you want to sum up your thoughts going into game number 3 and then duck out, or do you want to hear anything?
No, I'll sum up my thoughts heading into game 3.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, try to get in bed by 12:01. Game 3.
Sounds good.
No, I think, heading up into game 3, I think game 3 is another tight one. Heading into this, you saw a better Oilers team today. You saw a solid third period, a good, I would say, finally an Oilers style. Like when the Oilers are playing well, they were playing like they did in the third period. Now you saw Vancouver trying to match from an intensity standpoint and a physicality standpoint. I would anticipate heading into the weekend at home that's the type of game you're going to see where anytime Edmonton is going to make a push, you're going to see Vancouver trying to push physically. It's going to be another tight game. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes a little bit of time to open up the scoring, to open up the offense in that game, much like you saw tonight, where it was tight checking hockey. I think you're going to see the same thing again for both groups, and it's going to be just another little bit of a grind game, which, hey, it's okay. I fully expect this to be a long series, and I fully expect it to be a battle heading into game 3.
Well said. I have one last question for you, and it's not even close to 12:01. We have 4 minutes. How is the pork belly coming along? How are the burnt ends looking? Where are we at with that smoker?
Yeah. No, they finished up. I tossed them in a big pile of butter and some barbecue sauce. May have eaten a couple of them. Then put the rest away to mix in with the baked beans tomorrow. But they're pretty solid. I mean, you're eating smoked chunky bacon and drizzled in butter and barbecue sauce. I mean, it's pretty good. So it was tasty.
Buddy, well done on the show. You earned those burnt ends and that pork belly this weekend. Fantastic stuff. I'll talk to you on Sunday, all right?
Sounds good, buddy.
That is our game analyst, Matt Cassian, helping us break down Edmonton's 4-3 win in overtime over the Vancouver Canucks as this series returns to Edmonton, or comes to Edmonton, for game number 3, and then, of course, game number 4, Sunday and Tuesday. Things even up as the Oilers get it done in a tight game where, like Cass was saying, they were chasing most of the night. Good on them for digging themselves out of deficits and then eventually get the OT winner. And this team has struggled in overtime in the McDavid era in the playoffs, and they finally get another win, which is nice to see if you're an Oiler fan. Keep those texts coming at 780-218-9999. As we get set to go into the Oilers locker room following their win, I will remind you that portions of this hour brought to you by 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. Catch Dusty Nielsen on with Uke and McCord every weekday morning, and then tune into Jess Jackson on your drive home from work every afternoon. I had the good pleasure of hanging out with Jess a little bit to preview tonight's game, and they are absolutely fantastic. We're so happy to partner with The Bear. They are dear friends. They always have been since our 1260 days, being right down the hall. Now they're right down the street. So there's Nutsy Dielson in the flesh is here. Great to meet him. Awesome dude. And he and his crew had a great time, it looked like. So Nutsy Dielson, thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Okay, Trev, let's get your thoughts. Are you okay? You refused to come out to Hudson's. I said, come down here, unwind a little bit, take a deep breath, get yourself a bite to eat, have a beverage. There's 6 o'clock or lager at Hudson's. We'll have it on Sunday at Hudson's White Ave. And you're like, Tommy, I'm sorry. I'm not a game time decision. I knew I wasn't going to show up. I apologize. I need to watch this game my way. You did. In the studio by yourself. You probably cranked the AC on in the building. Are you okay?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, of course. That was a very, non-nerve-wracking win, and I wasn't freaking out at all. I'm just joking. I started the game with nails. I have no nails anymore. That was I was yelling so loud, man. It's a good thing no one was on this floor. But I mean, yeah, holy crap! I'm very surprised that the Oilers got the dub tonight. I really. And I said, your question of the night, you asked, like, has this, after game one, has this changed your mind? And I said, yeah, it has. But the biggest thing, Tommy, and we haven't quite touched on it yet, is, now we know as spectators or watching this game, analysts, we know this team can beat the Vancouver Canucks. And now the Edmonton Oilers know that they can beat the Vancouver Canucks. So you have to think that, that was stopping them from sleeping, just questioning their everyday life. Like, oh, this team has really just had their number for the last January 21st, 2023 was the last time the Oilers beat the Vancouver Canucks. So quite some time ago, and obviously the regular season, they had their number game one in this playoffs. So yeah, it's crazy. It's nice. And like you had mentioned, the Oilers, they don't have a great track record in overtime, so they were able to get it done, and it's good. So there's definitely still some things I need to work on, but you get the split. You're coming home. It's going to be so exciting just to see how the Oilers fans are. I can't wait for Game 3.
Nicely done, Trev. Excellent. A nice breakdown, and I'm glad to see you take a breath, and you look like you're doing okay. Spills, before we go into the Oilers locker room after their win, Spills via the Nasty Chat says, I almost finished my Mickey of Birdie Booze, Dusty. Great night so far. Dusty is in the Nasty Chat right now. Say hello to him. He had a big night tonight calling the WHL final between Moose Jaw and Portland. See you, Bryce and Norman, a Combines boy. Oh, my goodness. They had a great night. So yeah, the Birdie Booze, we're gonna have the launch party tomorrow at Birch and Bear, and that starts at 1:00. $10. It comes with food. You're gonna get some samples, obviously, of Birdie Booze. Maddie Iwanek and myself went down there to Strathcona Spirits, saw Schmitty, Andrea, and the entire crew there, and we sampled it. The final formula, the final mix is fantastic. The label is great. And a huge thank you to everybody at Strathcona Spirits and Sobe Safeway liquor stores for making this happen. I think you're going to love Birdie Booze. It's available now, $17.99 a bottle. Corey B was crushed. He had 4 bottles. I think Jocelyn and Jay had 3 bottles. All the reviews are good so far, but join us tomorrow. It's going to be great. And without further ado, let's go into the Oilers locker room. Who do we want to hear from first? YouTube, Trev.
Yeah, he was just a game changer all night long. Let's go to the captain with his 4 points. Here's Connor McDavid.
Of course, the Canucks have reached a 3-goal deficit. You guys have reached 3 separate 1-goal deficits. Can you talk about the comeback effort on your behalf tonight?
I thought there was lots of resilience. I thought we were maybe a little bit unlucky to be down going into the third. But we stuck with it. We hung in there all night. I thought everybody battled so hard to get this one. This was a big one, and feels good to be tied. Hadn't hoped.
Connor, there's always a feeling out process to start a series. What do you think enabled you guys to have more success at even strength tonight?
It's just work. I thought it was just work for us. I thought we did a great job of getting in on the forecheck and keeping pucks alive and hanging on to it below the goal line and making them defend. I thought we made them defend a lot and wore them down throughout the course of the night, and we're able to spend more and more time in the ozone.
Is that just a patience thing?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of both. It's work, it's patience. It's probably both those things.
Connor, you played with Leon a lot over the years. Obviously, played away from him too, but tonight, playing with him and having a lot of success. What do you attribute that to?
Well, he's a great player. He's an amazing player. One of the best players in the world, the best player in the world on a lot of nights. And tonight was one of those nights. He was great. I thought our little 5-man unit there with Hyman and Bush and Eck did a good job of holding on to it in the ozone, like I said, and creating chances and creating looks and kind of tilting the ice that way.
When there's questions about whether he would play. So for him to do it, to have that performance in the condition that he was in, what does that kind of say about him?
Was there ever a question? I mean, you guys know him.
You guys get a bit of a break on the winning goal. It goes in off Ian Cole, I think. But is that the break you earn by dominating the last, 10, 12 minutes of that hockey game? Is that how hockey seems to work?
You'd like to think so. You'd like to think that we earn that break. With that being said, it's it's a smart play by Bush to throw it there. You know, they got big D-men that don't move too far from there. And, you know, sometimes you can throw it there and it'll rattle around and find its way in the net like it did there.
These guys have had your number this year. They beat you 5 times. You win tonight. Is there something just in breaking that thing, beating that team? Is there anything there?
Yeah, obviously it's it feels good. It feels good to come into their building and earn a win. I thought we earned tonight's win, and feels good, but that's just one, and we'll move on.
That was a dominant third period by you guys. So what did you see in that third period that you guys were able just to take over the game?
You want me to give the spiel about holding on to pucks and working hard? I mean, that's what it was. I thought we made them defend. We hung on to the puck, made them defend, spend shifts in their zone, and when you do that, they got to chip it out, and they're tired, and they got to change, and you get to go do it again. We were able to tilt the rink that way.
Matthias Ekholm said of Evan Bouchard, no moment is too big for him. Of course, chipping in with the big OT winner today, is that something that you agree with when it comes to number 2?
Yeah, his pulse doesn't get too high. He's calm, composed, and scores a big goal for our group, like he's done all year.
With the way that your unit was playing, was it the type of night that you knew that it was going to be from your unit going for the game-winning goal?
I thought our team as a whole played well. I thought I had a feeling that it was going to come, someone was going to score on our side, and whether that was our line or somebody else's, it didn't really matter. It doesn't matter that it came from our side.
What about going to the first period? I think you played something like 240 on that power play that connected. How much did you feel that it was a good effort by the team? How much did it feel that you had to somewhat carry the team?
Who?
Playing you, just
Me?
playing the really long shift in the first period, getting the power play goal, played a lot through the game.
I don't think that's not the case at all. I thought we were 12 forwards, 6 D-men, and a goalie, and everybody that was here tonight in our room. It was everybody. Everybody was pulling on the rope tonight, and like I said, we earned that win, and can feel good about that. But as I said, it's just one, and we move on.
Yeah, everybody was pulling on the rope all right in orange and blue, but that guy we just saw was pulling on it more than pretty much everyone else outside of Leon Draisaitl. McDavid tonight, a goal, 3 assists, +2, 5 shots, 3 hits, 28-12 time on ice, wins 53% of his draws. I think he pulled the rope a lot more. Classic captain, passing on the buck in a good way, and appreciating and spreading the love to his teammates. McDavid with a monster night to help Edmonton win game number 2. Let's see a couple of texts. I said, sir, Canucks fans in the nasty chat. Materi says, crickets tonight, Tommy, crickets tonight. I understand. JCD asking about Birdie Booze and the alcohol percentage, 20%. It goes down smooth, doesn't kill you. And it's tasty. Hascap is the berry. It's blue huckleberry, I believe, is the comparison. All right, I'm going to read this text from Sully. Sully says, Kane and Perry need to step up this series. They should be pissing off the Canucks a lot more than what they're doing so far. Let's see if they do it, Sully, on Sunday. I know today there was a lot more scrums, it felt like. The Oilers were mixing it up a bunch, and those two didn't shy away from it. Perry played 10-13, so it's not like he was out there a ton. He had 1 hit. No shots, no points, no dent on the plus-minus side of things. And then as for Kane, he played 17-50 with 5 hits. He was -1 on the night. No shots, no points, obviously. All right, we're going to go back inside the Oilers locker room. This guy had a goal tonight. He's a Viking. He's a beast. He is Matthias Ekholm.
A consistent pushback from your team. I mean, 3 separate 1-goal deficits and continuing to stick with it and eventually finding the winner.
Yeah, I thought this game was a game where we took over the game halfway through it, and we just kept coming, kept pushing. the fact that we didn't score a goal late in the third was crazy to me. I thought we had chances on chance on chance. So good on us sticking with it in OT. Finally get one. In OT it's a balance. It's whatever. You saw this goal too. It's a balance and it goes in, right? But I thought we earned it throughout the night. I thought, as you're saying, they had a hell of a comeback in the first game. I thought tonight we had that comeback mindset. As you said, they were up 3 times in this game, and we just kept coming back. So good on us. It's an even series. That's what we came here for. So we'll take that and go back to Edmonton.
Connor and Leon played okay.
Yeah, I'm out there a lot with them, and I'm a lot in the offensive zone. So whether the credit should absolutely go to them. They hold on to the puck tremendously. They create chances. They have. I don't even know why I'm standing here convincing you guys they're the best in the world. I just think they are, and they keep on showing it every night.
You describe how they put the team on their back. It seemed like the play was always in their end when they were on the ice.
Yeah, no, and they're hungry. They know what's at stake. They always bring out the best players, bring out the best of themselves in these kind of situations. And we knew this was a huge game for us. And again, they're the top 2 players in my mind in the world. And when they put on a show like they did tonight, and when they bring their A game, it's hard to stop.
You've been in a lot of dressing rooms with guys that play injured. Draisaitl looked. When the game started, he looked pretty stiff and he loosened up. But maybe talk to us about a guy playing hurt and producing at that level playing hurt.
Yeah, I guess one thing that maybe he's going to be mad at me for saying this, but if you look at Connor, his biggest asset is his speed and his control with the puck in that speed. Leon's a completely different player. He plays at a lower pace. He can get the whole game to slow down. So in that case, maybe that's worked in his advantage, because you can think that he looked stiff to start. I didn't even think that he did that to start. I thought he was tremendous tonight. I thought he was, again, he was a game breaker for us. He controlled the game. He controlled the pace out there as he always does. So, I thought he looked great.
You talked about the third period and how you thought that you guys would get the goal just because of the momentum. You outshot them 15-2. What's the key to not letting frustration overwhelm you in that kind of situation?
Well, you're in the second round of the playoffs with a must-win game. Not a must-win, but close to it. If frustration sets in, then what are we doing kind of thing. I think that's the moment calls for patience, and sometimes you looked at the first round with these guys. They kept it to a low shot kind of volume games, and they've been trying to do that here too, and we knew that going in. So patience is key for us, getting the looks, but. Again, the way we've played in the third, I thought we got a lot of looks. I thought that we just kept coming, and their goalie played well. But I think that, if we keep playing like that, we're going to find success.
Matthias Ekholm played almost half the game, scored the winning goal, we think anyway. Talk about his effort and what you've seen in terms of his growth over and over and over again.
Yeah, I've said this a million times. I don't know. I don't think the moment ever gets too big for him. I think he always just is himself. He plays like it's game 66 in late February, and he's just doing his thing, or it's an overtime game in the second round, and in a must-win game. He's the same guy. He plays with the same poise. Just crazy to see his development since I got here, and it's been great to have him as a partner, and we'll keep going, and hopefully he keeps up his same play.
Do you think that the shorter series in round 1 is part of what gave you guys the extra energy to make that push in the third period?
Honestly, I have no idea, but I certainly hope so, because then fatigue is going to set in for them, and obviously we had a shorter series and we had a week off, but next game's a new game, and whether they were tired tonight or not, I'm not sure, but I thought we felt good, and I thought we showed it on the ice.
There you go. There's Matthias Ekholm. Pretty straightforward, honest as always. Ekholm with a big night. Him and Evan Bouchard were pillars on the back end. Ekholm finishes the night. A goal, +2, 2 shots, 1 hit, 25-42. Time on ice, and very articulate and an honest breakdown of the Oilers' win tonight. Couple of texts to get to. We will go to Rick Tocchet from the Canucks shortly and hear the other side and his opinion on tonight's game. Greg from Lacombe texts in and says, see what happens when Bouchard actually puts a puck on net. He doesn't have to load up every time. He seems to only be effective with the bomb on the net 1 out of every 4 or 5 shots. That's from Greg in Lacombe. C-Mac texting in says, and just like that Cass calms me right down about the middle 6. Caps lock off. C-Mac, that's Cass being Cass. He's a very smart guy, knows the game, and articulates it well. I'm glad he could help calm you down. Let's go to Ho Daddy, says more RNH and less RVH. Am I right, fellas? Happy we squeaked this out, but we are almost done in by a brutal goal. Check the game tape, number 74, Skinner. Zadorov did that the last series. Ho Daddy, yeah. That's immediately when I saw that go in, I was like, oh, Zadorov did that to UC Saros and Skinner victimized. That should not have gone in. I guess if you're looking on the bright side, instead of 3 bad goals tonight, Skinner lets in 1 bad goal, and Zadorov had to be pretty sharp with that shot. Shouldn't have gone in. Doesn't matter. We'll see how Skinner responds Sunday night. This text comes in, says, Soiler here. The boys battled hard tonight, but other than the third, fourth line was borderline invisible. Skinny battled back tonight, made up for the weaker ones he let in the first game outside of the Zadorov goal, but it was a tough/low percentage shot and angle. Yes, I agree with you there, Soiler. Coach Mike says, I don't get how 25 and 5 can be so out of sync. They play together all the time, but have absolutely no chemistry together. 14 and 2 are the exact opposite. They always seem to know what the other is going to do. Coach Mike, not going to disagree and actually agree. I do think 25 and 5, just they need to play better. Cass talked about playing from the dots inside out. Those two, I don't know if they're feeling overwhelmed. I don't know if it's a Canucks strategy thing. I don't know if the foot speed is getting them. I don't know if there's nerves. There shouldn't be. There isn't going to be any changes. Let's just say that. They're not going to put in a Philip Broberg to replace Darnell Nurse. They're not going to put in a Philip Broberg to take out Brett Kulak. They're not going to put in Troy Stetcher to take out Cody Ceci. We know that. The bottom line is those two being veterans, having the benefit of the doubt, are expected to be better. They need to step up their game. Find a way. Because the other guys are doing it. They should too. We'll see if they can do that. But right now, through the first 2 games, game 1, bad. Game 2, not as bad. Not great. That's for sure. This text comes in all caps. Says, we can beat these guys. Yes, the Oilers can beat those guys for the first time. Took them 6 games, but they got it done. We're throwing out the regular season where they went 0-4, 1-1 in this series. That is all that matters. All right, let's go to KL's text. Then we're going to go to Rick Tocchet here. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Tom Gazzola live on location. Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. Is a really good time here. Lots of nasties came out. Fantastic to see them and to always have their support. Made some new friends as well. And then you can get into the nasty chat if you're watching on YouTube. All right, KL says, what a hard-working win for the boys tonight. It seemed like Knobloch was running top 2 lines and the first pairing D the whole third. KL, yeah, he pretty much was. That Nurse-CC pairing looked bad again, always turning it over in their own zone. I think they need to bring Carrick in over Ryan for some grit on the 4th line, and Skinner does not instill a lot of confidence for me. Let's go home and take 2 boys. That is from KL. All right, Trev, let's go to Rick Tocchet and his thoughts following his team's 4-3 overtime loss in game number 2.
On a pretty close, hard-fought game, and your team's performance overall.
Yeah, it was a lot of storylines to this game, but the bottom, I think the top storyline is McDavid and Draisaitl were terrific tonight.
JT said he thought you guys made it too easy on them. Do you agree?
In the third period, yeah. I think they had 13, 5 and 5 chances. Too many guys were flipping pucks out when we didn't have to. That's the only thing I didn't like about our team in the third. I guess that's playoff experience. You have the puck, you have somebody on your back, skate with it. Keep your heart rate down. I just felt as soon as somebody got it, they flipped it, like everybody. I think there was plays to be made. We never gave them anything to defend it, and that's what happens. Obviously, that the third goal, got to know who's on the ice. You got to make sure you don't throw the blind pucks out, things like that. But that's, hopefully we learn from those mistakes.
How tough do you feel for Ian on the winner?
Yeah, I do. I mean, Kohler, we always tell our D, get out of that blue. Bad things happen in there.
When that line gets loaded up with Draisaitl on it, it does thin out the rest of their lineup. So do your forwards and players that aren't matching up with them, do you expect more from them on a night like this?
Yeah.
What wasn't happening with them?
Well, like I said, when you have the puck, you got to move your feet. You got to hold on to pucks. When you throw pucks away, that's what happens. You're just giving the puck back to the other team. It's like I said, when McDavid and Draisaitl are on the ice, you got to hold on to some pucks. You got to make some plays, but the rest of the lines have to do the same.
Now, when you were talking about holding it on, are you talking about in your exit specifically or in the offensive zone? Because it looked like you had a tough time getting
anywhere, 200-foot game. Anyway, it could be our face-off wins defensively. It could be along the wall. It could be a lot of different things.
Rick, just your thoughts on the general flow of the game in terms of the whistle and the officiating tonight.
Tough job. The only thing I don't like is the slew foots. Like, I like Kelly and Eric, and maybe they missed them. There's a couple of slew fits there on Huggy I didn't like. But other than that, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, it's a tough job. They're in a tough, there's a lot of stuff out there tonight.
With their loaded top line once Draisaitl goes up there, and then they're controlling play for much of the night. How do you sort of get JT and Brock the touches in the offensive zone? Because we know how important their offense has been to your team, given how rarely they sort of were in the offensive zone tonight.
Well, yeah. I mean, the same thing. Hold pucks, make some plays. Listen. It's hard to defend those two guys. It's not just those two. I mean, we had other lines go against them. You don't want to give them too much respect. I felt sometimes we could have jumped them a little bit quicker to squash some plays. I think we like taking back ice on certain things, and sometimes we like to press. I didn't think we pressed to especially in the third. Made them too easy coming out of the corners. I thought we could have maybe been a little bit more aggressive with them in the corners. I thought
that 5-minute stretch late in the third. How was fatigue a factor, you think, for you guys?
Yeah, I saw some guys. Yeah.
And is that just from having chased for so much of the third in general, or?
Yeah, and you overuse some guys. I mean, some guys here, they got to pick it up too. I mean, they want to play, but you got to dig in. Like you can't be a liability. I mean. If you're not getting much ice time, there's a reason why. And we need some guys to pick it up a little bit.
Just a thought on the power play. I mean, Petey gets that goal. JT.
All right, there's Rick Tocchet. He did go on for a few more minutes. We don't need to go into all of that. Agreed what JT Miller said. They made it too easy on the Oilers in the third period. I don't know if that's the case. I think the Oilers did force pretty good. Officiating says it's a tough job, so okay. It certainly is a tough job. And then did not like the slew foot. So we'll see. We'll see how the officiating goes. I know he's kind of been playing that game with the officials in the postseason. We'll see how that continues to trend in games 3 and 4. Tom Gazzola live on location, Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. YouTube Trev down at the EST HQ. Holding things down, and you can text us 780-218-9999. It is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. Trev, the dance floor is bumping. There's some ladies out there. I think you would enjoy them. You would have a great time. Can you give your thoughts? I'll be right back. Just go on full screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sounds good. I can do this. What is up, everyone? It is YouTube Trev. How's it going tonight, guys? This was an awesome win. One thing I'm very intrigued to see what's going to be going on. Going into Game 3 is the physicality. We kind of talked about it in the pregame show. The Oilers kind of got bullied in Game 1, and you can't let a Canadian team, especially the Vancouver Canucks or any team, I guess, for that matter, bully you. And that's one aspect that I certainly liked about the Oilers game tonight. They weren't afraid to. They didn't shy away from the physicality. So that was one thing I really liked, and it looks like Tom Gazzola is back. A quick improv, Tom. You kind of put me on the spot, but whatever.
Sorry, buddy. I had to take care of business.
That's okay. Yeah, I got you.
It's been a fun night, a really fun night here at Hudson's Bourbon Street, and there's some There's some action on the D floor.
Oh, yeah.
Which you've taken part in here at Hudson's Bourbon Street, and I think you would appreciate it right now. All right, let's go back inside Rogers Arena. We're going to go to the podium, and it's Leon Draisaitl with Warren Fogle, right?
Yes, sir. Here they are.
All right, good job, Trev. Thank you.
I don't know maybe you can tell us how well you felt with your injury situation, but you're probably not going to play much better even if you're healthy. What did you think of your game?
Yeah, obviously smart about it, but for the most part, felt good.
Did you? Your team took the game over in the third period. We sort of played 5 periods of hockey here, back and forth, that were pretty even back and forth. And then when you guys needed a period here, you got it in the third. What changes? What happens that you can, take the series the way you did?
Well, I think we started to skate a little bit better and find our legs and just, do what we do best. We're really well skating, fast hockey team when we're at our best. So I think we smelt that a little bit and, took over in the third. And, they're obviously a really good defending team. We know that. They keep it limited, but thought we did a good job.
Warren, since players hate talking about themselves, well, it's Stauffer over here. Just a thought on having those two guys, and Leon playing through what he's playing through, but having Connor and Leon and their ability to elevate and the work rate and sort of how that became a microcosm for the rest of you guys to work off of.
Yeah, I think they're obviously two of the best players in the league, but it's their work ethic. These guys work super hard. I know in the summer I train with them, and they're always competing, always working up early, and they work on their craft, and they don't just show up in the regular season. They show up for the playoffs.
You saw yourself got moved down against LA. You've already been moved up here against Vancouver. Just a thought on the opportunity that Chris has given you here.
Yeah, I think you forget about the past and you try to move forward. Obviously, wasn't thrilled with my game in the LA series, and trying to play the right way here. And I think as a group, we're moving in the right direction.
Hey, Leo, just over here. I know the regular season doesn't mean anything, but to be able to break through against these guys finally and get that win, what does it do, I guess, for you guys moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's nice to get a win. I think, like I said, obviously we've lost 4 times in a row against them in regular season, and there's a reason for that, and we weren't at our best, and they outplayed us during that time. But the playoffs are, of course, different. There's a lot more at stake here, and just proud of the guys, the way we battled back tonight. Came, I think, from three deficits, came all the way back. So it was good showing for us.
And Warren, I want to ask you about the composure of this team, because you guys going into third, you're down 3-2. You lose this game, you're down 2-0. But it didn't seem to get to you. The moment didn't seem to get you guys when you had to push back. You guys did. Could you just maybe a thought on the experience and how that kind of resonates on the team?
Yeah, we have a pretty experienced team. We've got a lot of guys that have played in the playoffs in big moments, but I think this group just has lots of belief. We know when we play the right way, and like Leon said, we move our feet and we keep pressing. Good things happen, and I thought that second half of the game, it was kind of shift by shift. We were pressing, and really happy that we got the win.
Leon, on the Canucks breakouts, what was the key to disrupting what they were trying to do?
On their breakouts?
Yeah.
I think just pressure them into poor decisions, but that's exactly what they're trying to do to our D2. So I'm not reinventing the wheel here. That's what every forecheck tries to do. Thought we did a good job of that tonight.
Leon, what's your experience just when Connor has a game where maybe the team obviously isn't happy with, maybe he's not thrilled with either personally? What's your experience in sort of watching him bounce back from that, and it's kind of what he clicks into?
Well, I think that's what makes him the probably the best player to ever play, right? It's his will to push himself to more and to be better, and there's no one out there like him. I think we can all agree on that, and obviously maybe he wasn't happy with his game in game one, but you can count on him coming back with a strong effort, and just proud of how much work he puts in.
Leon, obviously your line was dominant, but you guys also had a lot of shifts with the Ekholm and Bouchard. What role did they play to support you guys in driving possession, being an extra option on zone entries and that sort of thing?
Yeah, they're massive. It's a five guy line with those two out there, right? They control the game. They control the play from back there. So just two really, really smart hockey players that understand what they need to do. It's fun being on the ice with them.
All right, there's Leon Draisaitl and Warren Fogle. You wondered if Draisaitl would be good to go for tonight. He was just fine, scoring early and then also putting together a 4-point night, plus two penalty minutes, 4 shots, and 27:05 time on ice, 47.4 on the face-off dot. If you're wondering about Warren Fogle, he gets elevated in the lineup, no points, -1. 1 shot, 3 hits, 16:58 time on ice. He did give Nikita Zadorov a nice shot. Zadorov went down like he got shot on that play in front of the crease. Good to see Fogle mix it up a little bit there. All right, we got to get to some business. Text us, 780-218-9999. Time now to get to the big save of the game. Brought to you by Christopher Boyle, business owner, tax saver. Take care of your family with Christopher Boyle, an experienced advisor with over 17 years of experience. Safeguard yourself and your family with comprehensive coverage for tax-free benefits during hospitalization and or a fracture or broken bone. You'll get benefits pay from day one of the incident, so you don't have to worry about the costs and loss of income due to hospitalization. Preserve your income and protect your paycheck by visiting www.christopherboyle.net. All right, YouTube, Trev, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Tommy. So the big save of the game presented by Christopher Boyle is going to Stuart Skinner. When you ask, well, it was in the second period, 9 minutes into the second period to be exact. And it was a shot from the point from Quinn Hughes. He made a nice subtle left pad save, but there was a little bit of a juicy rebound. And who was there? It was Sam Lafferty. He capitalized on the rebound. Stuart Skinner he was sprawling out. He made a pretty big. It was a huge save, and it was with his left pad. So Stuart Skinner, you're getting the big save of the game, and it was that one in particular. So had to be Stuart Skinner.
Nicely done, YouTube, Trev. I just want to add, I love how many people think I'm the DJ.
Yeah. That's whenever we're rolling clips, you're like, nope. Please continue on.
Nope. DJ's over there.
Yep.
He's over there.
Yep. But here's a GC.
You know what? Here's a GC. Get out of my face. I literally have an on-air sign that's lit. I have Edmonton Sports Talk lanyards. It says Edmonton Sports Talk on the table. I have Edmonton Sports Talk decals. I'm not the DJ, but when you're drunk and can't see anything, and you could be blindfolded with dental floss because of how many beverages you may have had, they don't care. They don't care. Anyway, it's hilarious. It's Friday night. People are feeling good. They're dancing, and they're saying, YouTube Trev, join us on the dance floor.
Wouldn't be my first time on that dance floor, unfortunately.
No, it wouldn't be. I know. All right, let's get to a few texts here before we get to the player of the game. Neil from Nanaimo says, was there ever a question? I mean, you guys know him. Oilers look like a giant waking up out of a gentle nap. Not perfect, but who has big plays and big moments, and we still haven't seen their best game yet. Arrows up from Neil in Nanaimo. Oily Sink texting in says, shout out to Vancouver fans for starting the wave when it was tied 3-3. If that is true, don't do it. Don't do it. Larry at work, who wants to go by Larzy, says, boys, reffing looks like Connor Dwyer taking a ton of shots and cheap stuff. Refs letting it go, especially after 97's goal. I'm an old man, boys. Bedtime. LOL. Thank you, TGYTT. Stay safe. Have a great night. All right, Larry at work. Have a great night. Byron texts in, says, Tommy, I have to give nursing CC nursed some credit tonight, and the rest of the D-core. Big hits, played smart. Oilers played their game in the third, fourth lines. Had some great shifts. Still like to see McDavid shoot a little more when in the slot, or Bush just got a puck to the net. Sometimes that's all it takes. Big win they needed. Bring it home. Byron out of Winnipeg. Oh, we got lots of people texting in from all over the place. And this one, I think it's a joke, and I hope to God it is. Unless it's our old friend Terry, who's an absolute troll. But I think this one's in jest. Says Vancouver needs to blow it up and bring in Jim Benning. Yes, unfortunately, Terry got through on Reed's show. And I felt bad for Reed because we are both aware of Terry, the troll, who is a big Jim Benning fan. Huff Daddy says, if Dry's healthy enough, I'd split him and McDavid up to even the ice time for the forwards. I don't know if that many minutes for the big boys is sustainable long-term. Huff Daddy, I don't think it's sustainable as well. Let's go to Josh. Tommy wanted to save it up for the Birdie Booze launch. Vibes will be high there tomorrow after an Oilers win. Josh from Birch and Barry. Josh, I'm very excited about tomorrow. It's going to be a great time. West End Rob getting in on the action says, boys, will the Oilers be more physical at home and feed off the crowd? Need to keep pounding Hughes. Also need to hit Garland if they can look that far down to find him, bringing too much energy to the Canucks. West End Rob. I think that the Oilers can feed off the crowd, West End Rob. I think they will. I feel like Oilers fans will bring it. I think Oilers fans saw what the Canucks fans did inside Rogers Arena. I think there will be a response. I think fan bases, there's a clash here for sure. We've seen it at times in the nasty chat in the last week or so. I think Oilers fans are going to be even louder than they were in the first round, and that is A-okay. Just don't do the wave at inopportune times. Trev, you want to add anything there, or do you want to go to the player of the game?
I say it's time for the player of the game, Tom Gazzola.
All right. Sounds good. Let's get to it. Damon Bunting, RE/MAX Elite Player of the Game. Hey, Damon Bunting, consistent top producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. He and his team love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. He's community driven, understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. YouTube, Trev, all you, my friend.
Awesome. Yeah, so there's two players. There's two obvious picks. You could go with either one, Leon Draisaitl or Connor McDavid. That's who I'm referring to. But just because of the bounce-back game, it's tough. It really is close. But I'm giving the slight edge to Connor McDavid tonight. He was held shotless for the first time in his career in the postseason just the other night. Tonight, what does he do? He bounces back with a huge game, and that's what the greats do. Whenever they slump, they have an off game. They tend to come back and be better than ever, and that's kind of what we saw all game tonight with 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. He was a +2 in 28 minutes, and he was all over. He was dialed in right from the get-go. So, you're going to need, and unfortunately, the Oilers, it looks like they're going to need Connor McDavid to provide this because, we haven't seen the likes of Corey Perry, the Ryan McLeods yet. But who knows? Time will tell. But, just every aspect of the game, he was all over it tonight. And, down the breakaway goal there, that's just huge. That's clutch. Like, he's got that mentality in him. So it's unbelievable. It's such a treat to watch him, as we all know. And, he for sure, it is a toss-up between him and Leon. I'm just giving the slight edge to Connor tonight for the player of the game. So, that'd be Connor.
Nicely done, Trev. Damon Bunting, RE/MAX Elite, Player of the Game. Trev gives it to Connor McDavid, even though it was a toss-up.
Yeah,
it was a toss-up.
Close, yeah.
It was a toss-up. Nicely done. Those two were beasts. Yes, it took both of them to get the win. They played a ton. All right, we're going to wind things down with a bunch of texts. If you want to slide one in under the wire, we've been going for a while. It's closing in on 1 a.m. Dance floor still going, Trev. A little quiet. Could use you, I will say. Seaside Slug texted says, Perry still hasn't quite been able to get it going. Do you foresee any lineup changes? May he be the odd man out? Intangibles are one thing, but if he's not playing or moving the river, then what's the point? I'd like to see Sam Gagner. He showed that with rests, he's still got some boots and can step up once in a while with a big goal. Bit of a rotation of Gagner Perry could max their potentials, keep them more energetic and rested. Seaside Slug, I'd like to see more from Perry. I asked Cass about that on the pregame show, and he talked about the other things that Perry does, irritating the Canucks or the opposition. I would like to see more ultimately, but there's some things that Perry brings on a nightly basis that I don't think he would be the odd man out. I do think Derek Ryan could be, maybe for Sam Carrick, add some grit, sandpaper, and size over Derek Ryan with Carrick. I wouldn't mind seeing Sam Gagner get into a game. I feel like, and I was thinking about this today actually, it would have to be in a scenario where the Oilers were in a really good spot and could comfortably get him in. And you know what? I think whenever, if they ever got him into a playoff game, he would be just fine. And the universe being what it is, I think if he got into a playoff game, he would actually do something, whether score a goal, make a great play, take advantage of whatever little ice time he does get, because that seems to be Sam Gagner whenever he gets a chance. So he's worked for everything. He's put together a really long career, 17 years as an NHLer, and I would like to see him get in the postseason at some point. Who knows? But I don't think that's going to happen. My gut tells me it probably doesn't happen. Let's go to Jimbo. Jimbo says the boys still have more to give. This win gives them confidence coming home. Oilers in 5, says Jimbo. That's a gutsy call, Jimbo. Spetsy 5 Setsy with a nice picture, some Aurora Borealis. So we got, weren't you telling me about this, Trev?
I certainly was, Tommy.
Yeah, what is going on here? Because it says huge Oilers W, some beautiful Northern Lights tonight. Let's go. But you said there's something going on with this scientifically.
Yeah. It's over the last 20 years, this is supposed to be one of the biggest nights for the Northern Lights and the Aurora Borealis. So it's kind of cool, but it also, what I was reading, it's going to affect, because it has to do with the sun and all the solar flares, and it has a little bit of an effect on it. So what is it, what I was reading, it's what this could affect is radio stations. So I gave you the heads up before the show today. I was here's hoping we're all good, but yeah.
Even digital radio stations?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting, but I've seen a lot of photos from back home, and I'm definitely, it's crazy because I'm from really southern Alberta, and I was told from all my family you're going to see it even more so in Edmonton. So keep an eye out for that tonight if you're just outside. Look up.
Nicely done, Trev. All right, couple more texts. This one from Sean says, Tommy, it looks like Belzy's going to be doing most of the talking on Hello Hockey tomorrow. Sean, that is just fine. That show is his tomorrow. All his. We'll have David Pagnotta and Fred Brathwaite on. Hopefully try to get somebody to talk about that Avs and Stars series. Should be a great show. 10 a.m. we're on the air until noon. We will be live on location at local Jasper Avenue. If you want to stop by, maybe get some breakfast, maybe brunch. Always some great deals at local. We'll be at Jasper Ave. Tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day. Great day to be on the patio. Maybe a mimosa. Maybe a coffee and Bailey's. You do you. You do you. Maybe you go hard tonight and you need a quick pick-me-up in the morning, a little hair of the dog. Come see us down at local Jasper Avenue. Kyle texts in and says, someone turn the camera around so we can see what Tommy's up to. I'm literally standing behind a huge table, sitting behind a huge table, watching everyone else, shooing people away that are trying to dance and ask me to play songs when the DJ is clearly right over there. Russian spa guy getting in on the action says, Tommy, you're not American. It's decals, not decals. Great show. Keep rolling. Sorry, I do have decals here, though. I have decals or decals, however you want to call it. There's some nice ones. Come by, say hello. We'll have those for you on Sunday. We'll be on the White Ave location, a Big Uke. Oh, look at Big Uke. He had birdie boos, a bunch of shots, as well as some 6 o'clockers, and then adds, they did indeed not suck tonight. LFG Oilers. What a night. Cannot wait to continue the party tomorrow. See you boys then. Big Uke. Well done, my friend. Well done. DBZ Gang says, good night, guys. Going to continue listening on TuneIn. Great show, Tommy and Trev. Thanks. See y'all Sunday. Go Oil. Thank you, DBZ Gang. Appreciate it. Kevin McKenna saying, get something in before you leave, Tommy, I've got a 6 o'clocker. It's my second one. That's it for me tonight, Kevin. I want to have a nice day tomorrow. It's going to be a fun time down at Birch and Bear for the Birdie Booze launch party with Strathcona Spirits. It's going to be phenomenal. Come on down. We'll be there 1 to 5. $10. You get some. It's a food voucher basically, and the Birdie Booze will be flowing. You too, Trev, will be walking around short shorts and sans shirt. Right, Trev?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I can't wait. When we got our first test from the, when we Schmitty brought it in from
Schmitty
did.
Yes.
He brought it in. So ever since then, I've just been gunning for it because it's so good. It really is. I cannot wait for tomorrow. It's going to be a fun time, and like you said, it couldn't be any better just with the weather and all that. But just because we were just talking about this, good old Zach Tecum, obviously. We all know Zach Tecum. He posts this on his story right now. So if you are in Edmonton, this is what's up right now. So pretty cool. I just wanted to share that.
Very nice, Trev. That's beautiful. Literally, that's a beautiful photo.
That's beautiful, right?
Oh, it is beautiful. A lot of people saying goodnight on the Nasty Chat. To everybody that watched tonight, thank you. We appreciate you. Good vibes in the Nasty Chat. Didn't get out of hand. Matthew Iwanek, thank you for moderating tonight. And to everybody who texted us via the inbox, we appreciate you. To those who listened, whether it was on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, or the Edmonton Sports Talk audio player, thank you. To those who watched, fantastic as always. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. That's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. The Oilers winners tonight, 4-3 in overtime. Evan Bouchard gets the job done. This series coming back home, tied at 1. We will be on the air at 6 p.m. for the GCL Diesel pregame show, live on location at Hudson's White Avenue. Join us, will you? I'll have a fresh stack of GCs for everyone. It's going to be a great night. Weather should be fantastic. Both patios are ready to rock at Hudson's White Ave. For YouTube, Trev and Matt Cassian, I am Tom Gazzola saying thank you. Have yourselves a lovely night. Mix in a water. We will see you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.